All right. So today in today's class, we'll be mainly focusing on SAT math, and this is gonna be like the foundational SAT math. If you guys are doing Algebra 2 right now, you guys should know this already. Uh, Most of this is gonna just be practice for you guys, but we're gonna be going over most of the concepts that are like foundational to like acing SAT math. If you guys don't know this, you won't be able to get an 800. All right, so looks like everyone filled it out. So let's get started with math. So our first concept today, we're going to be going over the order of operations. All right. And it's a thing that a lot of people, I realize now, have messed up. And that's because of the way PEMDAS is shown. It's usually shown like this. You guys don't know what PEMDAS is? It's acronym. P stands for parentheses. E stands for exponent. So like x squared, let's say. M stands for multiplication. D stands for division. A stands for addition. S stands for subtraction. And I find a lot of people are messed up because of the way PEMDAS is written. That M is before D and A is before S. So the way I like to write PEMDAS is like this. So you guys know that multiplication, division are on the same level, and addition and subtraction are on the same level. One doesn't go before the other. So if we were to have 21 divided by 7 times 3, just because on the way PEMDAS is written, M is before D, doesn't mean that we do multiplication first. We read left to right. So what we do first is 21 divided by 7. This is 3. Now we're going to multiply this by 3. We get 9. That's how we do PEMDAS. Do you guys get that so far? All right. So let's say we have 45 times 2 divided by 9 plus 3. I'm going to write it like this. Can you guys figure this out and put your answer in the chat, please? Very good, Maria. You too, Lasha. The answer is 13. And the reason being that, remember, we have multiplication, division, and addition. We know that multiplication, division is supposed to happen before addition, but it's already on the left side, so we don't have to like do anything different. We just have to read from left to right. So 45 times 2 is 90. Divided by 9 is 10. And then we add the 3, and we get 13. Do you guys get this? Okay. I'm going to give you one more question, and then we'll move on to the next topic. So let's say we had 75. All right, let's do this. Okay. This one looks a little complicated, but you guys should be able to do this. Not 10. Yep, Maria, that's right. It's 100. So I think you guys didn't square it. So we have 75 times 2 divided by 15. Remember, left to right, because we're on the same level. So we have 150 divided by 15, which is 10. But don't forget, we have to square this, and that's going to be 100. All right? All right. Do you guys get this? All right, cool. So we'll just get right into the next topic, which are absolute values. All right, so absolute values are in essence how far a number is from 0. So the absolute value of -3, right? If you were to draw a number line, absolute values are indicated like this, by the way. And the absolute value of 3 would be 3, and I'll show you why. Because when we draw a number line, right, starts at 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 here. How far away is it? 3, right? The absolute value of -3 would also be 3. Why? Because 1, 2, 3. How far is it from 0? It is only 3 away. So that's what absolute value means. You guys get that so far? All right. So that was just basically the meaning of absolute value. So when we are given equations like the absolute value of n minus 13 is equal to 5, right? We have this. The way we solve this is we have two equations. We have n minus 13 is equal to 5, and we have n minus 13 is equal to -5. Why? Because remember, the absolute value of something, right? N, like if it was the absolute value of x can be negative or positive, but it's like says it, the absolute value of x is equal to 3. X can be negative or positive, but it'll still be equal to 3. You guys get that? So that's why we have two equations. We have one with a positive difference and one with a negative difference. So how do we solve this? We just add 13 to each side. The 13s cancel out. We get n is equal to 18 and n is equal to 8. And those are our answers. You guys get that? All right. So when we have that, so even if we have that, but we have like numbers on the outside, like let's say we have 2 times n minus 13. The absolute value of n minus 13 is equal to 5. Remember, what we have to do is divide this by 2 first before we set it equal to 5 and -5. So this would be n minus 13 is equal to 5 over 2, and n minus 13 is equal to -5 over 2. Just want you guys to make sure you know that, all right? So I'm going to give you guys an example problem now. Let's say we have all right, I want you guys to solve that for me. And tell me your answers in the chat, please. Yeah. All right. So let's just do this real quick. So we're going to subtract 7 from each side. You get 2 times the absolute value of x minus 3 is equal to 14. Divide 2 by each side first. We get the absolute value of x minus 3 is equal to 7. And then we have x minus 3 is equal to 7, and x minus 3 is equal to -7. Add 3 on each side. We get x is equal to 10 and x is equal to -4. X equal to -4, comma 10. All right, you guys get that? So that's most of the algebra you're going to do with absolute value, but most of the things on the SAT actually have to do with the graph of absolute value. I was trying to tell you the definition so you guys will understand the graph, so give me 1 second. So let's draw a graph for the absolute value, for an absolute value graph, right? Let's say we have the absolute value of x, right? Our graph is going to look like this. I'm telling you this right now. And you'll see why, right? Whenever we have the absolute value of x, it's y is equal to absolute value of x, right? So if the absolute value of x, let's say x is equal to 1, that means y is equal to 1. If x is equal to -6, y is going to be equal to 6. Do you guys see why it doesn't pass the y goes to the negative y-axis? Do you guys get that? Why it's always positive for on the y-axis? Right? So they're going to look like this. And basically, you guys can just draw this. You see how you did this? Y is equal to -x, and you guys can also draw it as this, right? Because the line, you know, y is equal to the x line and y is equal to -x line, because like we did earlier, the absolute value of x, that means x is equal to y and x is equal to -y. But this thing is the same thing as y is equal to -x. So when you draw this, it's gonna just look like a y equals -x graph, and then a y is equal to x graph, and they're just connected. Do you guys get that? Just making sure you guys understand what this means. Right? Okay, cool. Seems like you guys got that. All right, we're moving pretty fast. Huh. All right, so now we're gonna just do a little bit of manipulating equations, right? So mainly, most of you guys will know this. Almost all of you will actually. But when we have an equation like 2x plus 3 is equal to 7, right? What we have to do is isolate the x. We always want to get the x by itself. And how do we do that? We're going to subtract 3 from each side. We're going to do the opposite of what the sign is telling us to do so that we can cancel out the number here, right? So since it's adding, we're going to subtract. If it was subtracting, we would have to add, right? So when we subtract here, cancel out the 3's, and we get 2x is equal to 4. And since we want to isolate the y, to cancel out the 2 here, we're going to divide by 2. And then we get x is equal to 2. So that's the main gist of manipulating equations. Other than that, there's going to be a lot of questions on the SAT, like 2x squared plus 4x plus 3 plus 3x squared. And they're going to mainly ask you to like add up like these two things, right? And really this has to do with combining like terms, right? Where we have to combine everything with an x squared together and everything with an x together, right? So 2x squared plus 3x squared, that's going to be 5x squared. 4x plus 2x, 6x. And there's nothing else, so just going to leave that with the 3. And that's it. That's the main, that's most of the problems you'll see that have to do with simple manipulating equations will be like this. Most of them will honestly be with fractions. So let's say we have x over 5 is equal to 5 over, no, that's bad. X over 5 is equal to I'm thinking of an example, sorry. Let's say 2x over 5 is equal to 3x plus 15 over 2. Okay? So how are we going to solve this? What we can do quickly is multiply each side by 2, also known as cross multiplying, but we can multiply each side by 2 and 5 to cancel out the denominators. So the denominators cancel out. We're going to multiply this by 5. So this is just going to be 2 times 2x is equal to 3x plus 15 times 5, right? We get 4x is equal to 15x plus 75. Subtract this. Oh, 1 second, my pencil fell. So we're going to subtract, and from here we just manipulate it really simply. We just subtract 15x from each side, right? We get negative 11x is equal to 75, and then I can't really find a really good example, so I just thought of one off the top of my head. But the answer would be like, can this simplify? No, I can't. So negative 75 over 11, right? Do you guys get that? All right, any questions on manipulating equations? Yes, Ryan. So most of the questions on the SAT math are multiple choice, but there are a few open-ended questions, which are word problems. We'll get in more into those when we start doing the walkthrough of the practice tests. All right, so let's just get into the next thing, quadratics, right? So if you guys ever think of quadratics, I'm assuming you guys think of the quadratic formula, right? So this is the quadratic formula, and basically this is a way you can solve for whatever x is if we're given ax squared plus bx plus c, if we're giving a binomial in standard form. All right, so the way we would use this is basically just plug in these coefficients into this formula to find what x is equal to. So let's say we have 3x squared plus 4x plus, let's just say x squared plus 2x plus 1, right? We could factor this, but I want to first do this before we start factoring. So let's plug in these coefficients. First, let's just see what we have. We have a is equal to 1, right? We have b is equal to 2, and we have c is equal to 1, right? So now let's just plug it into the formula. X is going to be equal to negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 1. Now let's simplify this. What's 2 squared? 4, right? 4 minus 4 times 1 times 1, which is still 4, over what is 4 minus 4? 0, right? What's the square root of 0? 0. We can get rid of the square root right there. So this is just going to be negative 2 over 2a, which is 2 times 1. So x is equal to negative 1. Right? You guys get that? All right. So that's how we solve this with quadratic formula. Now, we can do this super easily with factoring. And factoring is basically when you break down this polynomial into the zeros of the binomial. So here, right, we have x squared plus 2x plus 1. I know that when we do this, we can do x plus 1 squared, and that's the same thing as this, right? This is x plus 1 times x plus 1, which is the same thing as x plus 1 squared, meaning x is equal to negative 1, right? Because factoring is basically just the breakdown of the polynomial, right? And the way you just solve them is, I think the best way you can solve them is guessing and checking, and by quickly foiling them in your head, like x squared plus 2x plus 1, right? And that matches with this. So this is going to be x plus 1 times x plus 1, which is the same thing as x plus 1 squared. Do you guys get that so far? All right, cool. So seems like you guys already have this down. I just want to mention quickly that there are few quick formulas that you guys should know for squaring polynomials. So like, let's say we have ax, we have x plus y squared. This is going to be x squared plus 2xy plus y squared, right? We have x minus y squared. This is going to be x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. And if we have x minus y times x plus y, we're going to have x squared minus y squared. This is just a good thing that you guys should remember if you're going to, it's a really quick way that you can factor these things out. Like here, x squared, 2xy, right, plus 1. If we were to FOIL this again, right, we have x plus 1 squared. So this x squared, x times 1 is 1 plus, so x times 1 is x times 2 because 2xy is 2x and 1 squared is 1. And it follows out like that. That's just a quick way you guys can remember it. Hi, yeah, facts for you. All right, so that's pretty much it for quadratics and factoring. I should include and factoring because we kind of just did that real quick. All right. So any questions on anything we've got through so far? All right, we've been going through this pretty fast. We may need to pump up the classes a bit. But so what we're going to do quickly is let's get to systems of equations now, right? So systems of equations. So a systems of equations is when you're given a system of equations is basically when you have a set of equations where you have multiple variables and trying to solve for those variables. So let's say we have x minus y is equal to 20 and x plus y is equal to 30. No. X plus y is equal to 30, right? What, or let me make this even. Let's say this is equal to 40, okay? So the way we can solve for these systems of equations is by using either elimination or substitution. And I'll show you what elimination is for this problem. And substitution is essentially, let's say we have y is equal to 4x plus 3. And we have y plus x is equal to 20. We can plug in this 4x plus 3 for y is equal to 20. So we get 5x, and let's change this to 5. And we have 5x plus 5 is equal to 20. We can subtract the 5 from each side. We get 5x equal to 15 and x equal to 3. And that's how we use substitution to solve problems like these. But most of the time, for systems of equations, elimination is going to be the one you want to use because it's like quicker and more, you can have more confidence with your answer because a lot of people are able to mess up substitution. But so let's just do this. What we want to do, as usual, you know how in manipulating equations, when we're trying to bring over a number, when we're trying to isolate this x, we're trying to cancel out this number here. We're going to subtract that by 3, right? We're going to do the opposite operation. If this was minus, we're going to have to add that. You guys get that so far? So if we do that, we have to do it for here. So if we're doing x minus y is equal to 20 and x plus y is equal to 40, it's given right there. Minus y plus y. Let's add them. Negative y plus y is equal to 0, right? So when we and x plus x is equal to 2x, so we have 2x by itself. This cancels out. Is equal to 60, meaning x is equal to 30. Now to solve for y, we can plug this 30 back into one of the equations. So let's plug in 30 for x. 30 minus y is equal to 20. and we can get y is equal to 10. Right? You guys get that? All right, that's a very basic way. So let me see. I'm going to find a quick question. 1 second. Let's say we have, I want you guys to solve this for me. Let's say we have x minus y is equal to negative 11 and 5x plus 2y is equal to negative 18. I want you guys to tell me in the chat what you get for x and y. All right. Seems like you guys are getting answers now. So I'll go over in a little bit. And Lasha, good job. Ria, you messed up your x. All right, I'll go over this now. So let's see. Let's use elimination for this, all right? What can we multiply on the top? Remember, we have to cancel these out. But just looking at this right now, if I multiply this top by 2, I'll be able to get negative 2y, and I'll be able to cancel out with this 2y. And that'll be super easy for me. So if I multiply this whole thing by 2, I get 2x minus 2y is equal to negative 22. 5x plus 2y is equal to negative 18. I can add these together. We get 7x is equal to negative 40. And to isolate the x, we're just going to divide it by 7. X is equal to negative 40 over 7. Now, to find the y, we're going to plug that back into one of these equations. Let's just plug it into x minus y is equal to negative 11. Negative 40 over 7 minus y is equal to negative 11. Add 40 over 7. We get negative y is equal to negative 37 over 7. And now we divide it by negative 1. So then we get y is equal to 37 over 7. And those are our answers. All right, you guys get that? All right, cool. So I'm going to give you guys one more problem. So it's going to be 6x minus 5y is equal to 8. And negative 12x plus 2y is equal to 0. All right, I want you guys to try to figure this out and tell me the answers in the chat. All right. Yep, everyone's doing well. All right, so let's do this. Oh, what's up, Ryan? So just looking at this right now, again, we can just multiply this by 2 to cancel out the x's. And I'm just seeing that right away, right? So we have 12x minus 10y is equal to 16. Negative 12x plus 2y is equal to 0. Add these together. We get negative 8y is equal to 16. So y is equal to negative 2. Now let's plug it back in. 6x minus 5 times negative 2 is equal to 8. 6x minus 10 plus 10 is equal to 8. 6x is equal to negative 2. X is equal to negative 2 over 6, which is equal to negative 1/3. That's our answer. X is equal to negative 1/3, and y is equal to negative 2. You guys get that? All right. That's pretty much it for this class. This is an equation. Let's do a Kahoot. All right, we're gonna do a Kahoot so you guys can get some practice in. All right. Yeah. Actually, wait. Maybe I want to talk about something else. Hold up. Let's talk about a little bit about functions. All right. Real quick. Functions. So, function is usually written like this. F of x is equal to x squared plus x plus 0, just x, right? Let's just say that for example, right? What this means is, okay, f of x, by the way, is equal to y, if you guys don't know. But this is just a written way. This is a much more conventional way for people to write functions like y equals x squared plus x, because it's really easy to plug in numbers. So if we were trying to find f of 2, which means what is the y value at x is equal to 2, right? That's what this f of 2 means. So how do we solve this? We're going to plug in 2 into every x in this equation. We have x squared plus x. So we're just going to plug in 2 squared plus 2. 4 plus 2 and 6. All right, that's what f of 2 means. So let's say we have f of 4 is equal to x, f of 2 is equal to x cubed plus 3x plus 9. All right, what are we going to do? We're going to plug in the 2 for all the x's, which are only these. So 2 cubed plus 3 times 2 plus 9. 2 cubed is 8 plus 3 times 2 is 6 plus 9. 14 plus 9, and that's 23. All right. So you guys get that? How these work? It should work on both, Lasha. All right. So if we were given a graph, because I see this on the SAT a lot, people don't understand what the some of these graphs, what they're at, what are the questions asking for, right? So if we have a graph, and we have these points here, right? So this is the line. Let's say this is the line f of x, okay? We have 0, 0. We have 2, 1, right? And we have -2, 1, right? So, and we have this graph. One second. Thinking of something. Let's say we have, let's see, this one's weird. Let's say it's like that. Okay. Let's say this is 3, let's say this is 1, 4. Okay. And let's say we have this graph that goes like that. And we have 0, 1 and -2, -4. Okay. Let's say we have this. All right. This is it looks very messy. Yeah, that's -1, my bad. So this is very messy, but let's say the question, and this graph is g of x, by the way. So let's say the question's asking, at what x value is g of x equal to f of x? At what x value for g, right? And let's look at the y values. When is g of x equal to f of x? At 0 and 2, and 0 and 2, right? So 0, 2. Well, if we were given the equations for this, that means that when we plug in 0 for the x's, we will get the same thing as if we were plugging in the 0 for the f-axis. This is a really bad graph. I'm sorry, I can't think of something off the top of my head like that. But this is that's like most of the questions on SAT are going to be about functions. They're going to mainly include graphs. All right. Do you guys get that? We're going to be going more into graphs next week. All right. Cool. So that's pretty much it. Any questions on anything we've went over today? All right, cool. All right, so I'm going to set up the Kahoot game. Let me quickly I'm going to find a Kahoot. Let's see. Just give me 1 second. Okay, why isn't Kahoot working for me? Sorry about that, guys. Quickly mute my mic while I try to figure this out. Anyways, until then, we can talk a bit. So how's your AP prep going for you guys? How about that? Let's talk about that. Okay. So, what do you mean, Lasha? AP as an international? Yeah, you would have to check for your school. I mean, I know IB definitely is for it works for internationals. All right, so I'm gonna find a thing for you guys will that has to do with the topics we did today. Well, okay, so this Kahoot's gonna have all the questions you guys have on that worksheet, but you know what? Who cares? You guys are here anyways. So give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So let's play this. So, sorry guys, sorry about that wait, but should be ready now. Okay. You guys want to play one player, right? Or PvP? I'm going to assume that as a yes. All right. So here is the pin. Guys, go ahead and join that. Turn up the volume. Can you guys hear the music? So if anyone gets any questions wrong, we're just going to go over it. And if someone wants us to go over it, just tell us in the chat right away, okay? Because some people just get us on questions. If you guys guess, please tell us to go over it because we want to make sure you guys are learning everything in this class. All right, we're waiting for 3 more people. Is anybody still not in? seems like everyone's in. All right, we'll just start, I guess. All right. Question number 1. Just solve that. Order of operations. All right. Okay, so someone got that wrong, so I'll just quickly go over to the OneNote. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so you guys can see my OneNote, right? All right, cool. So let's write this as Kahoot review. So for number 1, the question was 21 plus 5 divided by 5, correct? Remember order of operations, we have PEMDAS, and remember we write it at like this. This is just the best way to write it because you know what you have to do. Remember, multiplication and division are on the same level. In this case, it doesn't really matter, but we know that division is going to happen before addition in this case because division is above it. So what we're going to do is 5 divided by 5 first, which is going to be 1, and add 21 to that, which is going to be 22. All right. Whoever got that wrong, do you guys get that? All right, cool. So who's in first? Lasha. All right. Okay, another order of operations question. Okay, 2 people got this wrong. So let's go over this too. All right. Number 2 is -4 divided by 8 times 2. Remember, just because it's PEMDAS and in the letters P, M is before D does not mean that we do multiplication before division. We read left to right because multiplication and division are on the same row. They're on the same level. So we're going to read left to right. What's -4 divided by 8? -1/2. What's -1/2 times 2? -1. And that's our answer right there. Do you guys get that? Okay, yeah, Kahoot is a little... Yeah, it's hard to write it on Kahoot. Yeah, kind of whack. If you understood, it's good enough. All right. So Ryan's on top now. All right. Okay. Be careful what the question's asking you for, by the way. What is the sum of the values of n? All right, one person got this wrong. So let's go over it again. So for this one, number 3, the question is, what is the sum of the values of the absolute value of n minus 4 is equal to 17. So let's do this. Remember what happens when we have the absolute value of n minus 4 is equal to 17? We make two equations to solve this. We have n minus 4 is equal to 17, and n minus 4 is equal to negative 17. Do you guys remember why? Because if we had like x is equal, the absolute value of x is equal to 3, the absolute value of negative x is also going to be equal to 3, right? So that's how this works. So we have n minus 4 is equal to 17, and n minus 4 is equal to negative 17. So what we're going to get by itself is n. So we're going to add 4 on each side. We get n is equal to 21, and n is equal to negative 13. Now let's combine these. It's asking for the sum. What's 21 plus negative 13? Same thing as 21 minus 13. And what's that? It's going to be 8. All right. You guys get that? All right. Cool. So change screen. All right. Ella's on top now. Good stuff. All right. We went over this at the end. I believe you guys can do this. All right, 3 people got this wrong. All right, let's see. So, change my screen. So, we have, for number 4, we have f of x is equal to negative 5x cubed minus 2x cubed squared, minus 7. It's asking for what f of 2 is. How do you find f of 2? You plug in 2 for every x value. So we're going to do negative 5 times 2 cubed minus 2 times 2 squared minus 7. What's 2 cubed? 8. What's negative 5 times 8? Negative 40. Minus 4 times 2, 8 minus 8. Minus 7. Negative 4, negative 55. Okay, wait. Did I mess this up? Oh! It's the absolute value of f of 2. You guys see this right here? And that's why the absolute value is going to be 55. The answer has to be positive. I'm assuming you guys missed that out too. All right, does everyone get this? Yeah, I'm assuming everyone that got this wrong thought because messed up the absolute value sign. All right, so looks good. Let me just change my screen again. Ella is still on top. All right. Number 5, solve for x1. So this is manipulating equations. All right, everyone got this right. Right, we just subtract 25 from each side to cancel out the 25. We get 8x is equal to negative 32. Divide 8 by each side, and we get x is equal to negative 4. Right. All right, cool. Ella's still on top. All right. Okay, so by the way, I wish I could pause this, but this is 4x over 3 plus 2, not 3, not parentheses over the 3. So it's just 4x over 3 plus 2 is equal to 10 divided by x, all right? If that helps at all. All right, so everyone got this right. I'm assuming one person ran out of time. But yeah, the answer is negative 1/4. I'm going to assume that you are, okay, so yeah. All right, cool. Okay, Maria catching up. Ella still holding that first place position with her answer streak of 6. Got all of them right so far. All right, solve for x and y, given the system of equations. All right, so did someone leave? Because we're only getting 4 answers now, but I will go over this still. All right, I just want to know if someone left. Oh, okay. So let's go over this. So the equation was, what number was this? Was this 7? I think this was 7. So I'm going to assume 7. X minus 7y is equal to negative 11. We did this in class, guys. I think. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Equal to negative 18. So let's find out what we can use elimination for. 7 and 2 is going to be kind of weird to match, so why not just multiply this by negative 5? I just felt like this would be easier to match up. So negative 5x plus 35y is equal to 55. 5x plus 2y is equal to negative 18. It's at 55. Sorry for my bad handwriting. So the negative 5 cancels out. 37y is equal to 37. Y is equal to 1. There we have that. Now let's figure out what x is equal to. Let's use this equation. 5x plus 2y is equal to negative 18. We can just plug in y for 1. 1 for y. We get 5x plus 2 is equal to negative 18. 5x is equal to negative 20, x is equal to negative 4. So our answers are x is equal to negative 4 and y is equal to 1. And on the Kahoot, yeah, it's the same answers, right? Any questions? All right, seems not. Let's see. Ooh, Ella still on top. Let's see if anyone else can catch up. Okay, question 8. I was right. It's number 7. All right, solve for x. You guys are allowed to use a calculator for this one because you will get big numbers using quadratic formula. All right, so no one was able to finish this. All right, so we'll go over this. I'm assuming you guys ran out of time. Okay. I guess it's a glitch, but we'll still go over this. So the question was, what is x when we have 6x squared minus 11x minus 35 is equal to 0, okay? So what we can do is use a quadratic formula. So remember we have this in ax squared plus bx plus c squared plus c, right? This is standard form. We have this, so we need to identify what a, b, and c are. A is equal to 6, right? B is equal to negative 11. C is equal to negative 35. Now let's plug, and now let's write out the quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. We have b. Negative of negative 11 is 11 plus or minus the square root of negative 11 squared, which is 121, minus 4 times 6 times negative 35. All right, I'm going to try to simplify this right now, actually. So negative 4 times 6 is negative 24 times negative 35. That's 840. So it's 121 plus 840. Okay. No, 841. So now we have the square root of 121 plus 840, which is also 961. What's the square root of 961? 31. We already solved this. Now we have the 2a, which is 12. Now we just have to solve for x. X is equal to 11 plus 31 over 12, comma 11 minus 31 over 12. Okay, let's simplify these. 11 plus 31 over 12 is going to be 7 over 2. X equals 7 over 2. 11 minus 31 over 12 is going to be negative 5 over 3. And those are our x values. Did I mess this up? Oh no, I'm right. I don't know why. Okay, I guess this thing's wrong. The Kahoot's wrong, I guess. Yeah, so none of the answers right. If you guys got this, good job. I guess someone messed up the Kahoot. Square root on the phone. Okay, so Ryan, first of all, on the SAT, you can't use your phone as a calculator. I would recommend getting a graphing one. But if you're using the phone, I'm pretty sure on iPhone, if you're on the calculator app, if you like flip it horizontally, there should be it's like the square root of x sign. It looks like this. That should probably be there. All right. So seems like everyone got it. So let's just change this. Okay, cool. So I think, did you guys get this? Just asking in general, because none of the choices were correct. Oh, okay, Ryan. All right, cool. Good job, Bria. All right. Well, no one got it right, so no one gained their last points. All right, last question. It's asking you to factor. Remember how we factor. All right, so everyone who answered this got it right, but not everyone answered. So let's just quickly go over this. So for something like this, where all our choices are factors, something I really like to do is just FOIL out the choices to make this super simple, right? So we have 4x squared plus 12x plus 5, right? Let's try the first choice, which is 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 1. We have 4x squared minus 2x minus 10x minus 12x plus 5. This is minus 12x. That's not right, okay? So we can cancel out that. And then we'll keep doing that until we get to like 2x plus 5 times 2x plus 1, right? We have 4x squared plus 12x plus 5. And that's a really quick way we can do this. Also, we can just factor out from the beginning. I just look at this and think, we can break this up into 2x plus something and 2x plus something else, right? There's no minus here. So we can just add these. And nothing, we can't have like any decimals or anything, so we can just put in like 1 and 5. And that's it. That's what I thought, and it worked. you guys can do 4x and 1, right? There's combinations, but like that's a really simple way of doing it. Factoring is mainly just guessing and checking. That's like the most efficient way to do it, right? All right. Any questions on this one or any other questions on any of the Kahoot questions? No? All right, so let's look at our podium. All right, Maria in third, good job. Lasha in second. And Ella in first. So, okay, yep, Ryan and Ria, runner-ups. I know, Ria, your thing crashed, but yeah, good job, guys. You did well. All right, yep, see you, Ryan. See you, everyone. Have a great day. Whenever you fill out the survey, you guys are free to leave.